This next guest looks to derail what seems to be the biggest hype train in recent Australian MMA history. But Kenny. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event.
Live from HBF Stadium Festival Hall. Melbourne Pavilion. Not even backstage, we're literally outside.
Was that the best fight card in Australian MMA history?
Call me crazy, but make sure you call me when I'm right.
Be good if the Aussie MMA Instagram page would give us a bit of glow up because we're killing
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Australian MMA podcast. My name is Mitch Chinley. Today's guest is the smiling assassin, David Martinez. Now, David is an incredible grappler, an outstanding mixed martial artist, and he takes on Harry Webb August 17th, Eternal MMA 87 in the co-main event, looking to become a three-time Eternal MMA lightweight champion. Now, this event will be taking place at HBF Stadium in Perth on UFC Weekend. Of course, UFC 305, Israel Adesanya taking on Dricus du Plessis. That'll be the night after, the morning after Eternal. So a great fight weekend in the West. David Martinez taking on Harry Webb. Harry Webb, we've had on the show before, 4-0. He is an absolute superstar, and I've never seen a man so hyped in this game in my time. And David Martinez is looking to sort of derail that hype train, and if anyone is the man that can do it, David Martinez is that man. Now, he is training out of Dunstan Death Squad, which was our 2023 Team of the Year. He talks about kind of training there, his teammate Sean Gauci getting his opportunity at the UFC, mixing it up with Team Compton, which is another well-known team. You might have seen some of the videos and interviews earlier. Dave Martinez also talks about his little rivalry with Aidan Aguilera, who is taking on Jack Becker in his trilogy at Eternal MMA 87. It all kind of just works in together, this man. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, further ado, I keep getting in trouble in the comments. Without further time, after we hear from our friends at PRP Global, on the other side, the smiling assassin, David Martinez.
Fuel the fight with Australian-made MMA-inspired streetwear and support the next generation of MMA superstars. Delivering unprecedented support to the Aussie MMA scene, support PRP Global on their journey. 100% of profits go to the fighters. Check PRP Global out today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, smiling assassin David Martinez. Welcome, mate.
It's a pleasure to be back on again.
You're taking on Harry Webb. This is, of course, Fight Week, UFC Weekend in Perth. Has the weight cut begun? Because you don't look like you're in hospital.
Man, friggin', it's well and truly begun, my friend, and the usual standards. So all the fun stuff.
Now, mate, you must be like super excited. This is one of the biggest weekends in fighting, and Eternal has done a great way at piggybacking sort of the UFC to turn it into the biggest weekend of the year. How excited are you?
Oh man, freaking keen as, bro. Like ever since was offered the fight as a result of winning, the West Kappa fight, I was like, yeah, this is spectacular. This is right where you want to be, man. And as a fighter, you want to be, if you're going to fight on the regional scene, you want to be right before the UFC.
It's weird because you're a two-time champion looking to be three, and you're almost coming off as like the underdog. Does that feel weird to a 4-0 like hype train of Harry Webb?
Well, when you say 4-0, maybe, but when you say hype train, then yeah, it kind of makes sense. Like, he may be 4-0 and relatively new to it, but he's got a lot of hype behind him. So, and as for being the underdog, man, I can't remember the last time I haven't been classed as an underdog. It's pretty standard for me. So, it's all, it just is what it is.
See, I dispute that. I would say that everyone is so high on David Martinez, and they have been for a very long time, because all you do is show up. It doesn't matter who you're going up against, win, lose, or draw. You show up, same game plan, always very underrated striking, amazing grappling as advertised. Do you feel like you are the fighter that you've always wanted to be?
Oh, I'm definitely on the path to becoming in the fighter I've always wanted to be, man. I'm not quite there yet. I've got a lot of work to do in the various areas of my game, but I'm definitely well on the way.
Now, Harry Webb, who is a striking machine himself, everyone is talking, like, oh, the way for David to win, obviously, shoot the takedown, take him down. He doesn't want to strike. But Harry Webb has even said, no, no, no. People underestimate just how good David Martinez striking is. Do you feel like it's underestimated?
To be honest, man, I think that's probably one of the strengths of my striking, in the fact that people just often disregard it or don't even really consider it, type thing. So it's like, uh, and maybe based on my earlier fights, that makes sense. But like as time has gone on, I've put in a lot of work with Doyle, and now I'm even getting work down at the Comptons as well. So I'm like, I'm starting to get some hands, bro.
And I've watched, I had the privilege of watching a Team Compton training session with Tom Nolan, Stewie Nicoll, Blair Bratag, Elliot Compton, of course, your boy John Martin Fraser. And the way that head coach Steve Compton runs his striking is so intelligent, and the drills and the way he gets people to like high level striking, I think is very impressive. What's some of the sort of tricks and tips that you've picked up?
Oh man, if you I can't be giving those away, bro. Freaking, what do you think? What do you take me for here? But no, you're exactly right, man. Steve, his approach to the training sessions, particularly the ones I've been at, like really solid. Like the guy is a mastermind, but in he's also just a very good like actual coach. Type thing. It feels like the sessions I've been down there, it feels like he's there coaching me like 60-70% of the time during the session. So then, and I'm just one guy in the room, but he's doing that for each one of them, type thing. So when you feel like you're getting that much attention and detail from the coach, like it's pretty dang awesome.
So you're saying you like him better than Ryan Dunstan, eh?
Okay, where did that come from?
No, it is like interesting because it's like obviously John Martin Fraser as well. I spoke to Dunstan about it, and all jokes aside, like he is
Yeah.
a coach that is like, mate, go out, spread your wings, like learn some stuff. But
Oh,
I have to ask you, is it hard to sort of juggle? Because we are a sport full of egos. I mean, you're lucky with Steve Compton and Ryan Dunstan that they are egoless in this sport. But is it ever tricky to go like, hey, well, I'm actually going to go spend some time down here?
I suppose it can be, man, but like at the end of the day, no one's going to have it all before you, and like as well as no one's going to have like even the same things at the same time. Uh, so you do have to sort of go out and get different looks, get different opinions, and everything. Like you can't afford to fall into that that group think mentality, or where you end up isolated just because of like loyalty, eh, with things like that. Because otherwise, you just stunt your own growth as a fighter. Uh, you need different looks, you need different opinions, and you need different. Sometimes you need just a different variation of instruction on the same thing. Like we've all experienced it with when you've done enough training. Several people try to teach you the exact same thing, but only one way seems to click for you.
Is it also to the fact that like I mean you're aspiring flyweights, amazing flyweights, but like Sean Gauci, Jake Piper. I mean, I see you do absolute work with those boys. How good are they? Even though the weight class isn't there for them, type thing against you, but for some reason they seem to put it on you a bit.
Oh man, well, when you look at the roster at Ignite, you've got Jamie, Sean, and Jake, Dijon, and all these guys, and it's kind of like it starts to feel like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Uh,
Oh, David. Oh,
now,
David.
each one of them is just fantastic in their own right, man. Like, and they can put it on me despite the size difference. But yeah, I do need to work with people either my own size or a bit bigger in some cases, so it's good to add that variation.
How good is it as a teammate though to see your teammate Sean Gauci sort of finally get his opportunity?
Finally, man, finally, like that man deserves it, brother. I'm freaking proud of him,
Who's better? Because you've been in the room with Stewie, Nicoll, and Sean Gauci.
bro. I've been in the room with them. I haven't exactly like had a even assessment of both of them. Uh, I'm not commenting on that. Like,
Was it?
why would you set me up like this,
I'm not known for doing that at all.
bro? Be honest.
Is it?
You're a man of classic stitch ups.
When it comes to all of that, I mean, especially, you throw Team Compton in as well, and especially all the guys at Ignite and Dunstan Death Squad. Is it really sort of talk about how it feels to sort of see everyone almost finally starting to get the shine they all deserve?
Yeah, man. Like it, it is nice to see everyone like start to get attention and from the higher ups and the bigger names of the sport and everything. But it's about more the consistent work that everyone's been putting in, and because over the years uh, it's just been constant, and to finally get noticed for it is pretty good. But now it's a matter of remaining consistent. You know, uh, all this hard work and all this effort and this planning, concentration has gotten all these people to where they are, but it needs to continue to take them further.
And how do you feel as a man that has had extreme highs and some not so appealing lows, and then you see some of your teammates kind of get their shot in the UFC, and you very much could have if some of those losses were wins and whatnot. But like, how does that sort of feel? Is there any form of, I don't want to say jealousy, but like, is there any form of like, man, I wish that was me?
Hey, there's just constant resentment. And I go in and I see freaking Sean Gauci just walking around with his two hex belts and his freaking Dana White series contender contract. He's like, look at you, Dave. You're freaking king of the hill, but look at me. I'm like, I'm just that much better than you. I'm like, oh my goodness, man. Freaking, well, it's gotten to the point. Gauchi's head doesn't fit in the door of the gym anymore. And I'm like, ah. But no, man, like at the end of the day, you just got to be happy for your boys,
Mm.
because either your time will come or maybe it won't. Uh, Big deal. You wake up, you just do what your day requires of you, and you go to bed and happy with what you've done.
Are you happy with what you've done?
So far, indeed, I am, brother.
Is the dream still alive?
Well and truly burning, my friend.
And do you think, with all eyes on Harry Webb, because the UFC brass will be there, I can guarantee it. I mean, he's signed, or if not nearly signed, with one of the biggest management companies in the world. The UFC will be watching him. If you beat Harry Webb, just like a video game, you take all his shit. Are you ready? Are you ready to do that?
Mate, I was born for this moment.
Ah,
I was a freaking like I was just manufactured in a lab just to freaking come along and derail a hype train, take it all for myself.
well, I mean, you've done it before, and it's that type of style as well. You know that Harry Webb is going to come out and try and put someone to sleep early, and if you can take him down, you are his biggest test by far, bar none. Everyone wants to see it. One of the best Australian MMA grapplers we've seen in a while is you, and you're almost the final hurdle for what feels like Harry Webb. Do you feel like people are kind of sleeping on, hey, David Martinez could make it to the UFC too?
Uh, to be honest, man, no, I don't get that sort of vibe when I talk to people. Like it does seem like they're pretty high on my own skills as well. I don't feel so much underrated or overlooked in the sense like Harry's just got a whole lot of hype and eyes on him. But I'm gonna come along and I'm gonna do what I do, man. Like I'm pretty stock and standard, but what I do delivers pretty well.
And speaking of doing what you do, how like what can we expect fight night? I mean, are we going to see some David Martinez striking, or are you going to shoot the double from about 10 meters away?
I don't think the cage is big enough to to cover a shot that far away. But in fairness, yeah, man. Like, no, you'll see the whole mix, brother. And wherever the fight takes place, you'll see me willing to go down, and do what I do.
Awesome, brother. All right. Well, before I let you go, I mean, you're over for UFC weekend. Is there anyone that you're kind of hoping to run into? Is there anyone that you want to sort of meet while you're in Perth?
Well, as long as my boy Volkanovski's over there, I wouldn't mind running into him again. Like, Joe Lopez, the guy from freestyle, and just all my usual boys from around. Yeah, if I run into them, it's going to be a good weekend regardless. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say one question I do have. You had a pretty awesome and wholesome moment when you donated 10% of your purse last fight. This was about 30 seconds prior to Harry Webb saying first one to shoot is a pussy, but we ignore that. You gave 10% of your purse. Eternal matched it. Did you actually give 10% of your purse?
Indeed, I did, brother. I gave a bit more, in fact.
Oh, what'd you give?
We won't go over percentages. I haven't calculated that, but freaking, yeah. I don't know. When I calculated the 10% out of what Eternal gave me, I was like, hang on, I better round this up. My OCD just wouldn't settle on the number.
I love that. Regardless, mate, whether it was $10, $1,000, $10,000, it's incredibly selfless, and even your words on kind of what he had to go through, I think is pretty inspiring, and it's good to see two people who are just competitive, about to throw down. They don't hate each other. They're on the sort of different journeys, same dream. It's going to be an amazing fight, mate. Any final words before I see you in the cage?
Oh, I suppose, man. I got a few mentions. I want to just thank. Hold on.
You just grab a piece of paper. You just grab a piece of
Yeah,
paper.
bro. No. Well, this list is extraordinary. You understand that I'm cutting weight, right? You understand that my brain doesn't even function properly on the best of days.
Before you get to that, your boy Aidan Aguilera is going to be there. Are we going to see you guys throw down backstage? Because he bullies you online immensely.
Well, put it this way, man. Freaking. And Aidan's having his third fight with Jack Becker. He's about to have his second fight with me just beforehand. So,
All right, get to your list.
Yeah, all right, let's go over. So, all right, the gyms and that, obviously Ignite and Dunstan Death Squad. Got Vice Training Center, my boy Doyle, getting me the hands. And Compton's, Elliot Steve and my boy Don Marfan. And of course my boy Chris Jaffrey, who's been building me in the strength and conditioning area, man. Like, that's really been paying off big time lately. Yeah. And just a shout out to my sponsors, Recovery Jungle, Sim City Performance, Arcade Plumbing and Gas, and Hammerhead Barber.
Is your acceptance speech done? Is that your whole? Is that all of them?
Oh no. AFM Sports Management, my manager. Yep.
Are they?
And
who's that? Who's AFM?
AFM. That's my wife. Bro, how do you not know this?
Oh,
It's your job to know.
I thought you were with Jeremy.
Jeremy Green. Oh, Panda.
Yeah.
No. I'm still currently managed by my wife.
Ah, interesting. Does she, because she's your wife, does she not get 10%? She actually gets 50?
Yeah, I wish. I wish I got 50.
She gives you 10. And you gave it to Harry Webb's gym. So you got nothing last night.
Yeah, man. Like, so she gives me 15. I gave away 10. I kept 5 for myself.
Oh, mate, I love it. You're a national treasure. Anyone else to thank? I don't want you to miss anyone. Jane.
I just want to thank also Jake for helping me out with the nutrition and side of things this time around. It's been pretty solid. Um, yeah, as well as a couple of my training partners. Julian Prowse, particularly Jake Piper, Lonnie Filimahola for coming up, sparring me every Tuesday. Hey, Don Marfan for teaching me a bunch of cool tricks with the grappling and stuff. Like, just big shout out to those guys.
Awesome, mate. Well, it's going to be a hell of a co-main event. Eternal MMA 87, August 17th, taking on Harry Webb for the lightweight championship, looking to become a history-making 3-time lightweight champion on UFC Weekend. Dave Martinez, thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time.
Pleasure, man. Thanks for having me on, brother.